Do you wish in all this chaos and upheaval and uncertainty that you could just have a guide or a map or someone to help you get through it, or some support to take away the confusion and the lack of clarity, and most of all, the threat, the feeling that I'm not safe, or I don't know what to do, or what should I do, or I'm going to miss it, or some version of that? Well, guess what? You do have that available. And all this uncertainty is actually jump-starting you into making that connection so that you can navigate this incredibly transformational times with confidence, with ease, and believe it or not, peace of mind. Really with a sense of, I've got this. My name is Sonia Choquette. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being guided to this channel. The fact that you are here, especially if you're here for the first time, is evidence that you have angels, guides, and a divine support system working with you to offer you the support and reassurance and clarity you need. So I'm so glad you're here, and I truly hope you get something out of this. For those of you who have returned again and again, I am so thrilled you're here. We are growing together. These are exciting times, and we help each other as we move through this, as well as our guides, our angels, our spirit guides, and what's happening to us doesn't have to be chaotic and disturbing. These are exciting times. Guess what? With the help of our divine support system and the information that we are changing, we're not losing our minds, and that we're changing for the better, you've got this. You are recognizing, you may even be channeling the guides yourself by now, and let's hope so, because that is in the long run one of the goals. Let's talk about how to connect with your divine support system and how it's a necessary piece of navigating these changing times. Now, the biggest and most practical piece of information is that your logic brain just doesn't have the equipment alone to navigate uncertainty and unpredictability. Okay, it can work with what it's known from the past, and it can assume that what's in the past will continue to go in the future. But the truth is, we can't apply that certainty anymore. It's just not real. For example, I have a client who said to me just 2 days ago, I've been going to the same job for 17 years, and I walked in today and was told that my job was ending. Talk about blindsided. But they're replacing my job with a combination of AI and merging 2 different departments. So I didn't expect that. Now, with my client, and this is where I want you to check in with yourself as well. I asked my client, are you sure you didn't expect it? You had no inclination, completely blindsided, pulled the rug out underneath you, or did you feel some changes, but you just weren't consciously prepared or willing to acknowledge it? Maybe you just have the habit of dismissing it because it made you uncomfortable, or you didn't have evidence. These are the things that the logic brain looks for to say, unless I have hard evidence and I have validation from others, it's not real, because we've been taught that. But we have to recognize that one of the things that we are being given that is available and is kicking in to help us navigate this evolutionary, transformational, extraordinary shift on the planet is your inner guidance channel, which speaks to your guides. So if you are feeling anything, avoid starting to say, well, that's not real, or where's the evidence, or it's illogical, or I need someone to affirm this, because those are all absolute disempowering dead ends. Instead, just be curious. What am I actually feeling? And then know you're feeling it for a reason that your logic brain cannot yet identify. Not yet. We intuitively feel energy way before we actually experience the physical ramifications. Just think about this. You're playing baseball. You throw the ball. The catcher is feeling the ball approaching before the ball actually hits the mitt or the bat. You have to track that energy and feel it, not just observe it, but feel it to connect. And that's what your guides are trying to help you do by their presence. Now let's talk about the guides and their presence so that you don't miss it. You're not going to have apparitions show up, and it's not going to be like rock and roll Amityville horror and the things you've been scared into believing. Guides are like little butterfly wings on your cheeks. It's just a little whisper of uplifting energy. It drops in a very clear and supportive way. For example, I just spoke with a client just today. She said, one of my really big questions is, how can I get more connected to my guides? Because I don't hear anything. I'm not seeing anything at all. And so I really wonder, am I missing it? And yet I pointed out to her, look, you are receiving enormous downloads. And these downloads are guidance. And they come to you in dreams. Not someone talking in your head or some vision. You're feeling these huge inspirations of good ideas, new things to do. And in her case, it was write a book. Yes, that's guidance. But she couldn't trace it to anything connected to her outer senses. She didn't see it. She didn't hear it. I said, but you deeply, deeply felt it. That's guidance. So take a moment and consider, how do I personally experience and receive guidance? Because it's not one size fits all. We have our own unique ways to receiving inner guidance. For some of us, we get a really clear idea, like a mental suggestion. I do all the time. My guides kind of talk to me and say, like just recently, time to move. Okay, hadn't thought about it, but the truth is I have been feeling that it is time to move. Feeling this clear sense in my inner dialogue, time to move, felt, yeah, I'm going to consider that. Someone else said that they were just riding the train to work and got a big image to start riding horses, something she hadn't done since childhood. She saw horses in her imagination. That's guidance, because she had been feeling very depressed, very out of sorts. She had experienced a recent breakup and wasn't making any headway with traditional therapy. But as she was just cruising along, her guides, helping her navigate this ungrounded period, gave her the image of horses and the feeling like, yeah, that would really help me come back to myself, something she hadn't thought about forever. So when we are navigating uncertainty, call in your guides and then be available, because what I notice, most people argue with them. They get tremendously good ideas. They get great guidance, and they argue. For example, I have another client who works in a big firm, in a big CPA firm, and she was offered a job that was a big advancement. It was a big promotion. And everything in her logic said, do this. This is a good promotion. This is advancement professionally. This is better money. But her inner guidance said, I don't want that. And she squashed that. She took the job instead of, and she said, this was a month. I had a month to think it over. This wasn't an impulse decision. My inner guidance told me, I don't want that. Her guide said, you have other things you can do. So she ended up taking the job because her logic brain and her old values, not who she is now, but these old values said, this is the goal in life. Climb the ladder, get the money, be the boss, feel good about yourself. But the job itself turned out to be absolute hell. It was so disorganized at the new level. She had so many things she had to manage, and people who used to be her colleagues and friends were now people she had to control and correct. And she said, I ended up quitting. It was so awful. I ended up quitting. So what I thought I was advancing, I had to run away from. So as we go through upheaval and uncertainty, now more than ever, you want to listen to this inner guidance and not fight it. Now, I do have the argument, well, how can I be sure? Well, you can't be sure logically, but you can listen to your body. Does it bring you peace if you acknowledge this? Even if what you're being suggested to do offers a bit of uncertainty or proposes uncertainty, how do you feel? Because we are being taught. The big evolution right now is to reconnect with our feeling body, reconnect with our spirit, reconnect with our intuition, reconnect with our guides, become multidimensional, and start living truly, truly, truly empowered lives. And it starts with little decisions that make a big difference. So what we want to do this week, I just want to propose that you begin to call in your guides. Can you even, the step number one, believe they're there. Believe that there's forms of consciousness in this universe that love you, care about you, and want to help, but they can't control you. They're just there to help. Ask for their help and believe it. You know, one of my favorite quotes is from Einstein, who said, there's two ways to live. One is if everything's a miracle. One if nothing's a miracle. Just for a week, live as if everything's a miracle and every bit of guidance you're being given is really valuable. Now, another legitimate question, well, what if it's just a crazy idea? Well, a crazy, not guided, wishful thinking, manipulative, controlling kind of energy will leave you troubled. Guidance won't. Guidance might leave you challenged, but it won't leave you troubled. You know, even years ago, I got the guidance to move to Paris after my divorce, and that meant a huge upheaval, and do it quickly. Now, if I would have gone into my head, I might have never done it, but it felt right, even though what I had to do to make that happen was monumental. But here's the thing. My ego said it was monumental, but in fact, it turned out not to be. It actually turned out to be quite easy. So a lot of what you say is, well, I know this is going to be hard, to which your guides will answer, you don't know that because you're not counting on her help. So when you make these decisions to go with the inner guidance and ask your spirit guides, ask them for help too, and then be available to it. It's a brand new way of living, but that is what this upheaval is actually about. I'm going to be working with connecting with your guides, and I actually have a very beautiful free workshop coming up, free, to help you connect and learn how to manage all this upheaval and work with your guides September 18th and 20th, free. So please click the link below, sign up, get the information, be there, because these tools will help you begin to deeply connect to first your own spirit, your spirit guides, your divine support system, your loving, universal, overwhelming help, so that none of this is chaos. It's all just beautiful surprise. That's the way it's intended to be. So I hope I see you there. Thank you for tuning in. If you've never been here before, please consider thumbs up. More importantly, subscribe. Come back, join us, because we're all in this together, and our guides. So I can continue to teach and empower you how to live in the most beautiful and most divine way as you're designed. All my love.